Okay, so that's actually our first product. This is a coating for geotextiles that enables them to become conductive. It is, we've licensed this to the largest geotextiles company in Australia, Geofabrics, Melbourne-based company. The product has just completed its first stage of its field trials. It's got the full field trials are anticipated to be completed end of June. I had a conversation with the CEO of Geofabrics this morning. He told me that the product, from their internal point of view, this is the priority product that they're putting into the marketplace later this year. And the projected time for the product to actually hit installations will be in the last quarter of this year. Very fast track to market. It's been in development for 2 years. And the beauty of this product and this space is that geotextiles, for those, I'm sure all of you here are familiar with their use in tailings dams, roads, and various other civil engineering infrastructure applications. Geotextiles are a massive market, and it is one of the real mass manufacturing products that is put into markets today and will continue year after year as long as there is roads being built and as long as there are mines being developed. So I hope you already know something about graphene, but I'm going to tell you a bit about it in a moment. Let me just give you a quick snapshot of the company. So we're 2 years old. We developed graphene coatings. Our interest is not in, we make graphene, but our interest is not in just making graphene as an end product. We don't believe that graphene is a product. It's a means to creating products. We're focused on high volume applications. Our first plant is being built currently. The first phase of the plant will be completed in 2 weeks, and the balance of the plant will be fully on stream late June, early July. So as I note on the bottom of the slide there, the geosynthetic sector is an 18 billion industry, and we have a certification, licensing, and manufacturing model, which I'll show you about in a moment. So I see this as being the metaphor for graphene and its application in real markets. On the left, you can see vinyl granules in a bucket, and then beneath that, what in my youth was the way we consumed music, 12-inch albums made of vinyl. On the right, you can see graphite granules, and below that, of course, a representation of graphene. Now, what's the similarity between these? Well, they're all commodities. The thing that gives value to that 12-inch album is the content that you put on it. It's the way you create the grooves in the disc that enable it to hold the music, and the value, of course, is in the customer demand for that. If you have just mediocre music, nobody buys it, or they pay $1 for it. If they like it, or as they did when I was young, with vinyl albums, they pay $15. There's a big difference. Same thing with graphene. You have to know what the application is. So let me just show you something, please. This is like being back at school again. That's what a carbon molecule looks like, three-dimensional molecule. In the ideal world of graphene, you create a perfect one-dimensional, or two-dimensional, I should say, two-dimensional molecule that is just wonderfully perfect. And this is what you get when you use vapor deposition as the means to manufacture graphene. It's very expensive, and it has application, particularly in electronics. What we do is this. That's a more complicated thing, molecule. It's still a two-dimensional molecule, but what we do is we design in imperfections into this molecule that enable the molecule to have real value because it can bind to other materials. If you didn't have those imperfections, the graphene would just slip off. because it doesn't have any means to attach. So that's what we do. That's the value. Now, our focus right now, our focus is always, my focus certainly is on execution. The initial target markets are in civil engineering, roads, mines, and those flow into using geotextiles in agricultural and domestic applications. Once we establish ourselves truly in this market, which we are very well advanced in doing, as opposed to a lot of companies that are attempting to play in the graphene space, we will then be able to move into other areas, into these coatings being used in defense, in other domestic applications, and also in developing sensors. So our approach is focus, 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 high volume markets. Only worth doing graphene if you can sell a huge amount. That means you have to understand where your end market's going to be. Otherwise, a lot of hand-waving goes on about what the possibilities are without reality. What we focus on, too, is we look at where there is an already existing and known defined market space, where there is a current application, and where we can beat it on price and build a much better economical proposition to our customers. And that helps commodities manufacturers become technology companies. That's a big stretch for them in terms of their valuations. They grow margin, they grow market share, and they grow size. So, 3 pillars business model: certification, licensing, manufacture. When we sign up a company like Geofabrics, they sign up to a licensing agreement. They pay us a royalty, 8% royalty on all their sales. Then they also agree that they will be certified and that anybody in the supply chain will also need to be certified. Anybody who's certified has to pay us to become certified. And then we provide the product itself. We manufacture master batch materials, which are the means to creating that end solution. We make quite a healthy margin on that as well. That's how we operate. Geosynthetics, $16 billion industry, as you can see. And I'll just go forward very quickly. All of the things that we're really focused on involve managing water. It's a huge opportunity, and this is the typical size installation that Geofabrics supplies their geotextiles into. And this is essentially what we do. We create this conductivity throughout the material, and that enables you to do leak detection. I can get into the detail of that on the stand if anybody wants to come and talk about the specifics of this. We're in the room over there. So graphene-based coatings, that's what we're doing. I've already covered that. I'm not going to get into that. Here's the future. The future is in taking this ability to create conductivity in a material and then to be able to use that together with graphene's inherent capabilities to change its conductivity as it undergoes various environmental changes, stress, moisture, heat. These are all things that we can measure and map and communicate. So our future is in developing graphene to be used to do real-time monitoring of dams, of roads, and other huge infrastructure projects. So that's largely what the company is about. What makes the company really important and valuable, I believe, is the people. You can't build businesses like this without having absolutely brilliant people. And it's not just about the scientists. You've got to have good scientists to do the scientific work. But this is actually about how you manage businesses and how you engage with customers and create value for them. Some of the people involved in this company, I think, are of the best in the world. Phil Aitchison, one of my colleagues, co-founders, he had a history of running R&D for CapEx, supercapacitor company based in Sydney. He's had a long history in carbon and lithium, and that's where he's got his PhDs, two PhDs. John Bell, the CFO, he's worked with me before in lake technology. as you heard from my history. Grant Matheson, one of the most brilliant inventors I've come across. And I see, some of you may know that I had a history for many years, a long time ago, in the music industry. I see this business as being very much like my past. What my function is to manage talent, to find the best, put them together, and then create absolutely brilliant things as a result. And Grant Matheson is one of those brilliant individuals who I think has just got huge potential. Dave Giles Kay, he is very knowledgeable in the field of textiles. He was in R&D at Gore-Tex for a number of years, and just a very hugely knowledgeable person about textiles, both industrial and consumer. Rob Gorkin has a PhD in some esoteric scientific areas, and he manages our relationships with universities and research groups. We outsource a lot of our research to universities. What we don't do is tell anybody we work with what we're actually doing, because what we found is that you need to go to a portfolio of various research groups in order to achieve two things. Number one, actually get results, because you get promised all kinds of stuff by universities, but they don't actually normally deliver very much. And number two, we do this in order to keep absolute secrecy on what we're doing, because there is a black box, and we do have to contain the valuable intellectual property that we're creating day by day. So our goal is to build a huge amount of value in the company from IP. I've been in IP all my life, and I understand how to really leverage the value of IP and to make it work for you. So that's our story. And by the way, if you're interested in this company and in this field generally, please have a talk to Warwick Grigor. Warwick is the chairman of the company, and if you feel that you want to be involved in investing, Warwick will give you the details on how that can be best achieved for you and for us. So thank you very much, all of you, and thanks also to Jeff. So hopefully that's what you want.
It's excellent. Thank you very much, Chris.